Hi, this is Sarah with Sarah Bear Tarot, bringing you a pick a card to find out what past life is still affecting you most in this lifetime. And I actually had been meaning to do this reading yesterday, but I kind of got pulled into going down the route of a pick a card to do with your path. And then after I filmed it, I realized I needed to, that reading had been specific for the date, 2/22. So we're doing the past life one now. For this, I pulled stones to find out which chakra this past life may be caught up in or lingering in or somehow keeping you blocked. So, if you resonate with any of these piles, then you maybe know where you need to do chakra work and clearing. You can choose your deck by choosing a stone or just feel which deck which pile you're drawn to, though initially I used the same decks for all of them. But as I went a little further and pulled cards, sometimes I varied it depending on what I was feeling at that moment. So first pile is Nephrite Jade. The second is Hematite. The third is Blue Arogonite. And the fourth is Carnelian. I'll give you some time to relax and choose the pile that calls to your soul. This is pile 1 with Nephrite Jade. This would correspond with your heart chakra. So you may find that this life has affected you, especially in the realms of your heart. And you could have blockages because of that in your heart chakra. I'm going to find out beforehand maybe what country or a letter that was important to this lifetime. So it could be the name of your country or town started with this letter. Sorry, you can't really see my hands in the way, but go. M and O, those two seem to come out most. So it may be that those letters correspond with something, a place, name that was very important in this lifetime. Okay, Judgment card. This life, it feels like you were maybe judged or you felt harshly judged. You may have felt like you had to make a choice that was based, like you had to either make this choice or that choice, and only one was going to be correct. Maybe one choice was yours, but the other was the choice of others. So that's what's standing out momentarily at this moment. Now I'd like to see perhaps which gender you were more strongly. So this is Etea, this is La Questionant. So this is a female energy. She's Eve, obviously. She's standing very strongly in a divine feminine energy. So this lifetime you may have been, I'm going to say female. I'm not even going to say male or a male with feminine energies. I'm going to say female. And mariage, union. This is the grand prêtre. This is the high priest. So anyway, the union card, the marriage card, this may be that you had a choice to make on who to marry, and this led to indecision in that you didn't know who you should choose to marry. There were options before you, and you didn't know which option was the best. Could have been one option was connected with your heart, the other was connected more with your status or something your family wanted. Here, the King of Coins and the Page of Coins, two people, two masculine energies, someone younger, someone older, or maybe this is your signifying your father was trying to set you up in a marriage that had to do more with money than with love, which of course, wasn't unusual. Women were basically bartered or used as pawns to gain influence and money for families. So perhaps we have a situation like that took place during this lifetime for you. This is giving me the feeling that you are of higher status. And now we have this oracle card, Love Unabashedly. So it may have been you did have a strong passion with someone, but someone who maybe wasn't acceptable to the eyes of your family, to your father, your brothers, your uncles, even the king maybe. The lotus here does speak of purity, of rising up from the muck. So maybe this was somebody who was of a lower status, but they had a pure heart, and this love was very pure. But then we have power, the powers that be, people above you, dominant energies that are trying to get you to do what they want you to do, trying to keep you in line. And this is the crown of Isis. I know that's the sun disk, so I'm connecting this with the Love Unabashedly card with the sun there. And this Isis crown is supposed to speak of the different but equal powers of feminine and masculine. So I wonder if the person you were in love with was your divine counterpart. Now I'm wondering if this life wasn't in Egypt, ancient Egypt, because the lotus was also an important symbol to go also with the Isis crown. Let me get some more cards here. Puppet, puppet, or doll. This does feel like someone behind the scenes pulling the strings. Of course, this also is bringing to mind a voodoo doll. Maybe someone was working magic against you, or even you trying to use magic against those who are trying to stop you. Let's see, and we have also comet. The number 77 is standing out here, so maybe that's a significant number. Wonder if this wasn't something that was happening in the sky, something that was happening in the universe at that time. Maybe there was a comet that was an omen at that time, or it can signify a big event, a life-altering event, oftentimes not a good one. Major upheaval may have happened. I wonder if this life didn't happen in a year with the 77 number in it. Closure. So, I'm going to say this may be a life that was very disturbing and tragic to you, and it has blocked up your heart chakra, and now your heart chakra, your soul, wants you to close the door to this life, to get closure, to move forward and into life, to leave the past behind. Perhaps this is something that in this previous life you simply had no closure to, and that is why it's still affecting you today in this life. Now we'll look at this book of creatures and see what animal comes up. It's sheep. And wonder if Algeria, the Sahara Desert, and the Atlas Mountains, maybe if those are locations that would be significant. I'm thinking of following the crowd. Sheep are known for following the crowd. So you may have gone and settled and given up this love in order to not disturb the flock, in order to keep things going smoothly. Perhaps your family worked in the wool trade, or were weavers, or something in that department. Maybe you felt a bit like cattle, like chattel being sold to the highest bidder. Let's shuffle and get some more cards and see what your soul has to tell you about this lifetime. And a message just popped up on my screen that says clarity. you need to clear out these chakras. Especially the focus should be on, I'm going to say, the heart chakra. Oh, and the solar plexus chakra. We have the sun disk, the sun, the comet. There's the fire there. So solar plexus. But really, you kind of need to work your way up from the ground up to the crown. And I think once you work through this, you're going to find that you have more connection. The Judgment card is its transformation and rebirth and rising or leveling up. I think when you can get beyond this past life energy, you're going to be able to reach new heights of spiritual connection. Maybe, and here we have spirituality. Cherry blossom might be significant, and the Chinese peacock. With the Isis crown, going to that balance of feminine and masculine energy, that may be something that you'll be able to bring into alignment once you process this life that got stuck and blocked in you. And maybe you can process it in your current lifetime, and that will bring in your divine counterpart to this lifetime. Now we have innocence, daisy, and peacock. Again, we have peacock. Innocence, I'm going to go and connect that back with the lotus. What you wanted was innocence, purity, and I feel like you didn't get to have that. But you can bring that into your current lifetime. So some symbols that may have something to do with this past life that is blocked are the peacock, daisy, the lotus, there we have sheep there too. Remember, I read the sheep. The cherry blossom, Egypt, the idea of a comet, and the number 77, that may be a year that's important. I'm going to recommend that you work on clearing your chakras. Connecting with your spirituality is going to really be the catalyst for change. Now the second pile is hematite, and hematite is connected with the root chakra. So this past lifetime may be affecting your current life in the area of the root chakra. And to start off with, we have the devil, and you're not going right in here to the dancing, the partying, the revelry, and living it up. Maybe this lifetime is connected to addictions or greed, overindulgence, or a strong need to rule or dominate, own. And here, garçon brun. This could signify a youth of the merchant class or an apprentice, not necessarily masculine or feminine, but younger. And we also have this page, the Page of Swords. It does feel like you are in the younger class. It could be someone who is utilized by people in power to receive or to gather information. And this card is gold, so that goes with that idea of greed. So whether or not you're wanting to level up in your life, or whether you're helping others in a higher position to get more, that's what I'm feeling here. But I have more tarot cards that I pulled to add to this. We have a 4 of coins, the clinging, the greed. There's a sense of grasping, like you were trying to get above or into a higher station of life. And we have another Page of Swords. We have 2 Pages of Swords. That's really interesting. I wonder if in this lifetime maybe you died in your youth or when you were still young. But I'm because like you were a student or a spy. I mean, that's actually coming up with these cards. Here, 2 of Wands. It just show you want more. You were very intelligent, and you knew there was so much more out in the world for you and that you could have it. You didn't want to get stuck in the past. So maybe in the past, growing up, you had a struggle with money. You're just looking forward. There's a feeling of a youth who is much more intelligent than he is expected to be, depending on how he was raised or where their formative years were spent. Thomas Cromwell is coming to mind. He was Henry VIII's chancellor, I believe that's what. Anyway, but he was the son of a blacksmith, and so he was judged or picked on for being the son of a blacksmith. He rose above himself. Use your power. So, tiger, you may have a connection with tigers. But there's something stealthy here which goes with espionage or gathering information to use to advance yourself. And that is kind of sneaky, which I'm connecting with the devil, the look on his face, very sneaky. Candle. So, finding light in the dark, clarity. And we have the rope. This can signify an unhealthy attachment. So perhaps whatever it was you were doing in this lifetime, you were roped into. Maybe it wasn't entirely your fault. Or I wonder if this were an ending, maybe being hung or enslaved in some way. The witness, look at that eye. You were watching, you were learning, and you're using this information wisely to get ahead. I really feel like you were trying to advance. The candle here, I'm also going to connect with the Two of Wands because there is that element of a certain fire within you. Fire to succeed, to expand, to rise up, and to be more. You spent a lot of time in plotting for your future and planning. And this card, new life, an Ankh, that goes with everything. There's some connection to the number 4 here because we have the 4 of coins as well. So yeah, there is this new life. You wanted to pull yourself up maybe out of a lower station and reach your fullest potential, which you had a lot of. So this life may be coming up not because something tragic happened, but maybe your soul wants you to tap into that fire in this lifetime, to take it as a lesson, to know that you can advance if you dedicate yourself to it and think smart. Now I'm going to look in this book of creatures to see if there's an animal we can connect with this life. And I have magpies. Okay. Here in Oregon, we call them camp robbers because they do like to steal things. So this could be connecting all the way back with that spy aspect, or I'm even thinking of Charles Dickens, The Artful Dodger, someone trained to steal. So maybe you were a youth who was used to steal things. So if something negative happened in this past lifetime, you maybe were waylaid or slowed down by greed. Perhaps you were thrown off of your track by the shiny, pretty things in life, and maybe you spent time in jail or something like that. I feel like this is before the 20th century. I feel like I need more cards, so I'm going to shuffle. I want to know why we're all stuck in youth here. Why are we stuck? Oh, I dropped it. Let's see. What do I have? I got another page, so I really don't know what to say. All these pages, they can signify messengers or being a messenger. So it's like there's a very strong message here guarding against greed, to use your mind to get ahead. And here we have the world. So there is much more. Don't think locally, think about branching out and perhaps going to school, taking classes. There's some way to get ahead that doesn't have to do with grasping or taking what doesn't belong to you. There's a world at your feet, and you have such a lot of potential. It can be in your hands. And willpower. Look, with the world. They're holding, you have the world. A world of opportunity. There's such a lot of opportunity for you. Don't get caught up in toxic energy or negative thought patterns or limiting beliefs, things that hold you back, because you can go very far. And I think your soul is pointing that out to you. Now, I'm gathering everything up because I want to use my pendulum to see if we can come up with a letter or something pointing to perhaps a city or a town or a country, a letter that is significant to this past lifetime that we've been covering. So, get that going. And we have a T. It's on T. And let's see, maybe another letter here. Okay, R. So, if any of this resonates, I recommend that you connect with your root chakra and see if you can clear anything up. Because maybe this is a lifetime that you could release in order to reach your potential. It may be you have feelings of scarcity or a lack mentality that are coming from a time where you were impoverished and only had your wits to get you ahead. Okay, the third pile is blue Arogonite. And so this could have to do with your throat chakra. Maybe this life is caught in your throat chakra. I'm going to use the pendulum to see if we can find a letter that has something to do with this past life, perhaps a country or town. L and K. I feel like it was trying to go to both of those, or either of those. And G. So perhaps that has something to do with this lifetime. Now, what we have is the Tower. So this life did feel a bit tragic. Something happened that really shook your world. I'm almost feeling like there was maybe suicide, or someone fell, someone died by their own hand maybe in this lifetime. I'm feeling also feminine because these two figures are females. Maybe this speaks of a location somewhere in the hills. Maybe, I think it's the Tower of Babel here. So in the Middle East. Here we have Force. This is the Strength card, so feminine strength. Lions may have something to do with this lifetime, but yes, I'm getting a female energy here. And femme, blonde. A woman who maybe had a higher status, because she does have to do with art, science, and things that only the upper class would have access to. Ambition. So the ambition maybe of her family or of herself has something to do with this lifetime. There was a feeling of trying to get ahead or make more of a situation. These look like steps, kind of, so maybe social climbing has something to do with it. But it feels like you were in a higher class in this lifetime. Maybe you wanted to be even higher. Maybe you had really high hopes. 4 of Fire. So this speaks of marriage. This speaks of celebration. So it feels like there was a happy event, a very happy event in a marriage. Here we have 4 of Air, but then we're waiting. We have to notice the repetition of 4. 4 may be significant in this lifetime, 4-4. So there was a marriage planned, but it was delayed. The 4 of Air is swords, 4 swords. So I wonder if it has something to do with war or something that got in the way of this marriage. Look, she's very sad. It's not just reflective, but it's sad and alone. 5 of Fire. On this deck, well, in this deck, it doesn't really look like it, but it is a card that has to do with battle and competition. So maybe a war of some sort interfered with marriage plans, or if we move away from the idea of war, maybe there was just something wrong with this connection. Maybe it wasn't as valid as she had thought. There's disagreement, there's arguments between this person and another. And here we have 4, we have another 4. That's crazy. So 4 is very significant. 4. Wonder if there was a child or a pregnancy, and perhaps the father of the child didn't want to accept it as his. We have a house, and this is a very nice house. So maybe he was a social climber. Maybe the pregnancy got in the way, or, let's get away from pregnancy. Female, there's a lot of female energy here. Maybe there was a relationship between 2 women, and obviously in other times it would have been very taboo for women to be together. And there could be a feeling of one woman on the sidelines waiting while the other was being forced into a marriage and motherhood. And I can see how this would affect the throat chakra, because you're not able to speak your truth. You're not able to truly be who you are. And commitment. Tying the knot. So there was a deep commitment in this lifetime, but it feels like something interfered or stopped progress from it or with it. This card is have patience. There's a ship on this. Perhaps it has something to do with someone crossing the seas or traveling away from you, maybe in war, or going back to the war idea. This is soulmate. So there was a deep soulmate connection in this lifetime. I wonder if this marriage did come about or not. But whatever the case, this connection was so deep, it is still with you. I'm going to look in this beast book here and see if I can find an animal or something, a symbol of this past life that maybe will stand out for you or ring bells or resonate. What's this? Aphrodite gambles with Pan, Greek, 4th century. I wonder if 4th century has something to do with it. And Greece. Goose also. Goats. Okay. Well, I don't see any goats anywhere else in here, but maybe you were Aries. Oh, yeah, that would go with the 4s. Maybe there was an Aries energy here, or something happened in the 4th month in April, or in the 4th century. 4s. There's just a lot of 4s, so I'm really feeling like this was maybe back in the 4th century, 300s. Now, I wonder if this soul, I feel like this soul is going to be coming into your life in this lifetime. This soulmate connection that you had back then. Now, I'm going to use my pendulum and this to find out if this person's going to come into your life. We'll use this. Or maybe if they're in your life. It's going to yes and possibly. So, who knows? Maybe they're here. Now remember, speak up for yourself and to be true to who you are. Now, at last, we have reached pile 4, Carnelian. This could be suggesting this past life is in your sacral chakra, or I'm going to say solar plexus as well, because it's yellow and orange. The Hermit. So this does have a masculine energy typically. I wonder if you weren't actually a hermit or someone who lived on their own, maybe in the woods or with animals. Maybe this feels very spiritual, so maybe you had a very spiritual life, cloistered life. Here we have the Knight of Batons, Depart. So this is a knight of the country, so someone who is more comfortable out in the woods, in the rural areas. And it does speak of a knight, actually, of the knight class, so chivalric class. This is the Brun, so a dark-haired man, and possibly a merchant or of the merchant class, an entrepreneurial person, someone who likes to buy and sell and earn money. So I'd really like to know what other cards I have here to assist in figuring out what this life is all about. 33, pen, allure, fin. So, reward after troubles. Usually I don't look at this deck in the way I do at normal tarot decks, but I'm noting the Three of Wands here, and that is speaking of basically exploring new horizons. So I wouldn't be surprised if you traveled in your business or work back in this past life that is most affecting you right now. And another king. So tons of masculine energy here, but it's kind of unclear as to what you did exactly. Were you a knight? Were you a merchant? Were you a king, a ruler? 10 of Wands, so more wands. There's fire energy, there's a heavy load. So you might have had to carry an awful lot on your shoulders. You were a man for all seasons. You were a man who was intellectual, you were a leader, you were great with money, so maybe you were secretarial or treasurer or something that uses the intellect. And really, in the past, at any moment, a man could get called to war. So perhaps that has something to do with this past life and why it may be stuck. Here, the Two of Cups speaks of partnership in a marriage. So it seems like you went from being solitary to being someone who had a partner or a wife. Or you know what? I just got this idea. How about, what if you were a Knight Templar? Because they were all about money. They had a lot of treasure. There were knights, there were warriors, and they were dedicated to God. And here we have the skull. The Knights Templar, there's a connection with the number 13. Hang on a second, I have to look this up. So, Friday the 13th, October 1307, they were rounded up and accused of heresy and other crimes. But some got away. The leader was burned. Anyway, so, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that has something to do, maybe this does have something to do with Templars, or maybe not. We'll see. What's this next card say? Factory. So perhaps you were the owner of a factory. That could be a possibility. It could also signify hard work, which would go right along with the 10 of Wands. So if we jump away from the idea of the Templars, what if this is a life that it took place around the technological age, or when things began to advance? Now, this card, growth, and I'm connecting this with the Three of Wands, the idea of expansion, travel. You may have experienced a lot of the world. And the spiral. Okay, the exact same symbol here. So this does seem very symbolic of this lifetime. I'm thinking of the chakras here because they're like energy spirals. I think it's going to be really important to work through this block. Whatever it is, it feels big. And something may have happened that took away your confidence, has led to a lack of confidence in this lifetime. Suddenly getting this feeling like your soul has been trying to process this past lifetime for a long time, like you've been searching for a way out of this block for a while. Now is the time. This is the lifetime to move on. Play. You know, I'm being drawn to the orange spot at the bottom of the tree. So sacral chakra, solar plexus. Those areas may be where you need to focus your work. Make sure you don't take life too seriously. Have fun. With these cards, it shows someone who's almost like a workaholic. So you may need to step back and give yourself more time for fun. But with the skull and the spirals, I see like a great transformation taking place in this lifetime. It's meant to happen now. You're meant to release this baggage in this lifetime. Let's see what else. Six of Wands. Fire energy, victory. And he's a knight on a horse. I feel like there's success ahead, and you're going to be breaking free of this old cycle and starting a new, lighter path, a path of harmony and unity. And I don't think you're going to take anything for granted. Symbols for you here to give you more clues. Aside from the horses are standing out for me, so that feels significant. The spiral, the skull. Let's take a look in this creature book. Ooh, basilisk. So maybe that means something for you. So it's a sort of serpent. I'll connect that with the spirals and releasing the old skins. Swine, so pigs. Maybe that was an emblem for you. The logic of dragons. I bet the dragon was also a symbol for you in a past lifetime. Perhaps a heraldic. Something that was on your coat of arms, something that was significant to you and your history and your ancestors. Well, I don't know what more to do. This life feels really interesting. I hope that you do feel a resonance with this. Let me know in the comments if this feels symbolic or represents something that you have felt to be true inside. Oops, wait, I forgot to get a letter for you for this lifetime. We'll see perhaps if there is a significant letter for a country or a town that you were in. We'll get this going here. P. And S. P and S may be significant in this past lifetime.